As a 90-year-old man, I sit here on my porch under the gentle afternoon sun, and if I could turn back time to speak to my 50-year-old self, I would whisper with urgency, "Don't pretend you have a lot of time left." Do you, my friends stepping into your 50s, 60s, or even 70s, ever quietly ask yourselves how much longer you'll live, or if you'll have enough time to accomplish your dreams, or if your body will be healthy enough to see your grandchildren graduate? In restless nights, do you wish you could start over with a healthier body and a more peaceful soul? If you've whispered these worries, you are not alone. I was once like that too at 50, believing I was a healthy senior full of wisdom, and that senior wellness would come naturally. Then came the fateful day the doctor said I had 3 years to make changes or live with medication, a senior health prediction that stunned me, revealing my complacency with small signs of aging. This video exists because there's a painful truth most people age 50 and above delay. Facing the reality of longevity after 60, we delay regular health checkups, daily exercise, facing loneliness, and saying words of love and gratitude, imagining we will live forever until a friend passes or a fall leaves us helpless, or we wake up with a racing heart and no one to call. These moments awaken us most painfully. Are you facing this, my grandchild? Do you feel your health rapidly declining without knowing why? As my friend Joe, approaching 49, wrote, "I'm almost 49. I used to believe 16 more years of work would be enough to be stable. But no, the more I delay, the more risk. Science proves that 80% of our lifespan after 60 comes not from genetic inheritance, but from our daily habits. This means you are not genetically flawed, nor does old age inherently bring illness. Instead, we maintain faulty life lessons and tiny habits that shorten our senior health daily, often misled by incomplete information or complacency. Do you feel lonely, even with family?" William Ward, 55, wrote, "I can no longer do heavy work. I don't know what I'm living for anymore. And I feel completely alone in this world." This feeling of living alone, of mental health unease, doesn't come from external factors, but from within, from forgetting to ask ourselves, what am I living for, to not for happiness, for deep love, and to leave something meaningful behind? This wisdom isn't found in money or fame, a truth I, having almost finished life's journey, hope you remember. Every day you breathe is an opportunity to start anew, a second chance to live slowly and more deeply. But every day you delay or hesitate shortens life's ladder, a whisper of, "It's too late." We don't want to hear. I'm 90 years old and lost my life partner over 20 years ago. I lived alone in the mountains for years, and it was cold. But then I began writing down 90 things I wish I'd known sooner, 90 life lessons from the elderly. The number one advice from old people I share is never to trade your health for money, only to use that money to try and save your lost health. It's a cruel, vicious cycle. Science is clear. People aged 50 and above who walk 30 minutes every morning reduce their stroke risk by 37%, and those who get 7 to 8 hours of sleep each night reduce their risk of Alzheimer's by 64%. So, why not start with small things to change our entire lives, to change how long will I live after 60? Keep a small health journal, call an old friend, or simply stand up from your chair every 30 minutes. Let me ask you directly, if you only had 1 year left to live, what would you do differently tomorrow? Don't wait until your body sends alarm signals, or until the doctor says, "If only you had come sooner." Do something today, right now. I will share each lesson part by part, like an old man on his porch, talking to you at dusk. These are the life lessons I've gathered. Lesson number 2. Don't live someone else's life. That's the most important life advice. Lesson number 3. How to live long without depending on your children. True senior wisdom. Lesson number 4. Forgive to live as light as a cloud for complete mental wellness. Lesson number 5. Don't regret what you've never tried because it's too late might come at any moment. I will tell you one thing at a time with scientific evidence and also the whispers I wish someone had told me when I was 50, the quotes and words of wisdom that took me a lifetime to understand. If you saw yourself in those lines, comment, "I'm 50 and I need this." I will read and respond to every comment and write the next part dedicated just for you, my friends of elderly wisdom. After 60, those who want to live a life of aging gracefully, fully, and meaningfully. My dears, at 90, I can't remember everything I've eaten, worn, or earned, but I vividly remember what I lost because I didn't understand the following when I was 50. Your body is the only vehicle you have. If you don't take care of it, you'll have to push it for the rest of your life. I remember a comment from @Piracati, 62 years old. I used to be addicted to alcohol. After quitting alcohol, I became addicted to sugar and fast food. Then I stopped everything and felt reborn. His story is like a part of my own younger days. I thought I was immune, constantly working, then returning home to fast food and sweets as a reward. But I made a terrible mistake. Nothing kills you more slowly than what you eat daily. Things you think are harmless, the silent enemy of our senior health. Science says sugar addiction stimulates the brain's reward system like cocaine, and highly processed foods increase the risk of early death by 62% in people over 60. Every 10 cm increase in waist circumference after age 50 means a 15th increased risk of stroke. A trim waist isn't just aesthetics, it's a predictor of life expectancy after 60. This first lesson, your body vehicle is your most precious asset, the only tool you have to experience life. Don't let seemingly harmless tiny habits or food habits turn it into a burden. Taking care of it now means taking care of your senior wellness for your own future. The lesson on toxic friends. To not everyone you call a friend helps you live long. Lucy's comment deeply resonated. The comment about choosing friends and focusing on each step instead of goals unlocked something in me that I didn't know I had buried. Everyone has life stories about friends, but not everyone realizes this truth. I call them toxic friends to people who quietly drain your energy, make you tired, but you're afraid to leave them, perhaps out of habit, loyalty, or fear of living alone and loneliness. After 50, the age when we start thinking about retirement, and our life after 70, you don't need 100 acquaintances, just a few genuine people who make you laugh freely, bring peace to your soul, and remind you to walk, drink water, not stay up late, meditate, and live slowly. Science strongly supports this. The Harvard study of adult development, 2022, found that the quality of our social relationships is more important than blood pressure, BMI, or cholesterol in predicting lifespan. People aged 60 and above with a healthy, positive social network live on average 7 years longer. This is the mental health we need to nurture. So, if you are carrying toxic relationships that deplete you, be brave and cut off contact. Sometimes letting go is the best senior wellness and wise advice for yourself. The lesson on smiles and learning. To no one cares how old you are to, as long as you keep smiling and learning new things. Anna, 62, commented, "I started learning Taekwondo at 50. My instructor called me Benjamin Button. I have no intention of stopping." Curiosity and the desire to learn are the flames that keep elderly wisdom from ever dying out. I, at 90, learned to use a smartphone at 82 and a tablet at 85. At first, I was clumsy and afraid of being laughed at, but then I found joy because I understood a profound life lesson. You don't get old by age. You get old when you stop learning, stop smiling, and stop being curious. Slow living at this age means slowing down to feel, to learn every small thing. Wisdom doesn't come naturally. It comes from new experiences, from challenging ourselves. Every smile, every new piece of knowledge is a tonic for your mental health and senior wisdom. The lesson on uniqueness to you don't have to be like anyone else to, so don't compare. Joyce Suarez, 55, articulated this beautifully. I was called divergent, but I like the saying, you laugh at me for being different. I laugh at you for being the same. Each of us is a unique individual, an uncopyable life story. I believe the age of 50 to 60, when we start looking back at our journey and imagining our life after 60, is precisely the age when you no longer need to fit in. Instead, it's the age when you should make peace with yourself, accept all your flaws and unique qualities. If you've ever thought you were different, behind the times, or slow-paced compared to your peers, know that's not a burden. It's your priceless gift. There's no one else in the world who needs another copy. Be confident in living with your own words of wisdom, with life advice from your own heart. And don't let external quotes about life shake your self-worth. Your uniqueness is your very own elderly wisdom. The lesson on complacency, to waking up without pain every day too, is not a given. Dave Houston, Dublin, 61, said something very true. A healthy person has 100 wishes. A sick person has only one, to get well. When we're young, we often take health for granted. I was complacent with a slight pain in my right shoulder for 3 months, thinking it was just muscle pain and would go away, delaying going to the doctor. By the 4th month, my arm started losing sensation. The doctor diagnosed cervical disc herniation, leaving a permanent mark I've had to live with. I still regret not listening to my body sooner. From my bitter experience, I realized a painful truth. Today's delay means tomorrow's painful cost in 10 years. Small signs of aging, senior health predictions that are warning you if ignored, will become huge burdens. Science agrees. People aged 50 and above who consistently walk 30 minutes every morning reduce their risk of knee joint pain by 44%. Practicing the 10-second one-leg balance exercise every morning helps measure our biological age. Our life after 60 depends on these small actions. So cherish every morning you wake up without pain. It's a gift. Don't be complacent with any signs of aging, no matter how small, so you don't regret it later. The lesson on sufficiency too. You don't need too much to just enough and someone to share it with. Robin Haushalter commented, "Many people think they know everything at 50, but I think we always need to learn and listen. I think that's also true for material things. I once chased bigger desires in my youth, to a bigger car, a larger house, thinking more would bring happiness. But 30 years later, looking back, the things that truly made me happy, that made me feel sufficient, weren't material possessions, but a simple meal shared with loved ones, an unexpected call from an old friend, or being gently asked, 'Grandpa, are you okay?' True happiness doesn't come from owning a lot. It comes from feeling sufficient with what you have and being grateful for it. It comes from having someone to share with, to experience simple life stories together. That is elderly wisdom. Advice from elders I want you to engrave in your heart. Practice slow living and savor every moment. The lesson on forgiveness, to forgive, to not because others deserve it, but because you deserve peace. Arika Marcus commented, "Forgiveness is priceless. Carrying the burden of resentment and anger is heavy. I carried anger for 15 long years because someone deeply hurt me. I tormented myself, lived in a cage of resentment until I realized the person who hurt me had probably long forgotten and lived lightly while I was chained by my own anger. It severely affected my mental health. Finally, I decided I forgive. Not because they needed my forgiveness, but because I needed to sleep well again, to live my remaining days with a peaceful, cloud-like soul. Forgiveness is a gift I gave myself to achieve senior wellness, to free myself from the burden. That's the last wise advice I want to understand. Cut off contact with unnecessary burdens to live more fully with the life lessons life offers. I didn't die from cancer, diabetes, or stroke. I nearly died from complacency. Not a major disaster, but small habits, small mistakes, repeated over and over. If you, my friends, are over 50, I earnestly invite you to check. How many of these silent mistakes are you repeating? These signs of aging might be warning you. Mistake 1, not getting enough sleep 2 and treating it as normal. Colin Colt, 64, said, "I've listened to this video every night for 6 months, and it made me wake up." That wake up isn't about waking from sleep, but awakening to a seemingly harmless habit. When I was younger, I thought sleeping little was a sign of strength, of being grown up, or only needing 5 to 6 hours. But I was terribly wrong. Not getting enough sleep is the fastest way to impair your memory, immune system, and even your life. Science warns. A study from the National Institute on Aging, 2022, showed that people over 60 who sleep less than 6 hours per night increase their risk of Alzheimer's by 33%. Sleep doesn't just affect immediate mental health, but profoundly impacts long-term brain health. Conversely, getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep each night helps us feel alert, boosts immune cells, and reduces cortisol. This is a free tonic for senior health. I wish I'd known sooner. Never underestimate sleep. Don't let it become a neglected habit. Quality sleep is one of the most important health tips for seniors we can give ourselves daily. Mistake 2. Eating healthy too, but at the wrong time. Sharon Drummond's comment, "I've done so many wrong things without realizing. Now I know. It's never too late," made me think deeply. Recognizing mistakes is courageous. I used to eat fruit in the evenings, thinking the more vitamins the better, the healthier. But then felt bloated, couldn't sleep, and woke up to urinate many times. After about 2 years, the doctor diagnosed digestive disorders and early-stage insulin resistance, all because of eating at the wrong time. Scientific truth. According to Harvard Health 2021, eating fruit after 8 p.m., especially high in fructose, increases the risk of blood sugar imbalances in older adults because our bodies, especially after 50, become more sensitive to glucose as metabolism slows down. This is a life lesson about nutrition few teach us. Instead, people aged 50 and above should prioritize eating high-fiber fruits in the morning to apples, grapefruits, kiwis, or oats. These choices are good for digestion and stabilize blood sugar, contributing to long-term elderly wellness. It's not just about eating healthy food, but knowing the golden time to absorb them. Don't let these seemingly harmless eating habits quietly shorten your life expectancy after 60. Mistake 3. Ignoring small body signals to then regretting it. Scott, 60, said, "I suffered a serious injury at 47, had to give up everything I loved. I thought my life was over." Complacency can take away the most precious things. I had a slight pain in my right shoulder for 3 months, but didn't go to the doctor, thinking it was normal muscle pain and would go away. By the 4th month, my arm started losing sensation. The doctor sadly diagnosed cervical disc herniation, a condition linked to me forever. To this day, I regret not listening to my body sooner. From my bitter experience, I realized a painful truth. Today's delay equals tomorrow's painful cost in 10 years. Small signs of aging, senior health predictions that are warning you, if ignored, will become huge burdens. These are warning signals you, especially after 50, must not ignore. Back pain, numb hands, tired knees are early signs of aging, warning about spinal degeneration, arthritis. Frequent nighttime urination, excessive thirst could signal pre-diabetes or kidney problems. Feeling sleepy all day despite adequate rest could be a sign of hypothyroidism, anemia, or other serious health issues affecting elderly health. Don't wait until your body has to scream with severe pain or serious illnesses. Listen to its smallest whispers. Today's delay can be the costly pain and regret of 10 years from now. Mistake 4. Continuing to use social media without real conversation. Irish Danny boy, 45, revealed a truth many don't dare to face. I deleted social media to focus on life. Changed careers after 20 years. Now I'm resetting my life. Sometimes we need a reset. I too was captivated by social media, with 2,000 friends on Facebook, thinking I had many connections. But when hospitalized with a sudden heart attack, not one of those 2,000 virtual friends called or visited. The only person who came was someone I'd shared real tea with 3 years ago, a friend not connected on social media. This life lesson is valuable. Never mistake virtual connection for real connection. After 50, the age when we start practicing slow living and need sincerity, you need 3 people to truly confide in, more than 3,000 who just view your stories. This is important advice from old people to protect your mental health, especially if you are living alone. Mistake 5. Not letting go of things that are no longer suitable. William James's heartbreaking story. My mother is 82. She went out to sit on the porch and cried. She said, "Yesterday I was just 12. Time flies, and sometimes we cling to things that no longer belong to us. I too held on to a job that exhausted me, robbing my joy. A friend I thought was close, but who always made me feel looked down upon. An unhealthy lifestyle that made me gain 12 kilograms after 60, making my body heavy. I kept thinking I had to try harder, endure, until one day, looking out the window, I asked myself a difficult question, a wise advice I wish someone had asked me sooner. If today were my last day alive, would I still try to hold on to this too, or would I bravely let go? And then I let go. I chose to live simpler, choosing only what brought peace to my soul. From then on, I truly began to live. That's a life lesson about cutting off contact with unnecessary burdens to free yourself and live a life of elderly wisdom more fully. My dears, from 50 onwards, live like an artist meticulously tending to the final strokes of their life's painting. Don't let any small mistake spoil your final masterpiece. Use your wisdom to choose. Here are the daily health tools you should start using today to improve your senior health and predict life expectancy after 60. Keeping a health journal, sleep, diet, mood, increases self-awareness and helps you understand your signs of aging better, preventing early illness. Walking 30 minutes every morning boosts circulation, improves mental health, reduces inflammation, and makes joints more flexible, even reducing the risk of knee joint pain by 44%. Calling an old friend once a week can reduce depression by 43%, according to Stanford, 2023, proving how crucial social connection is as a life lesson. Spending 15 minutes meditating or praying improves brain function, reduces cortisol, the stress hormone, and enhances focus and inner peace. Reading 5 pages of a book daily keeps the brain young and reduces the risk of cognitive decline by 60%, serving as wise advice for cultivating elderly wisdom. A quote I always repeated in my later years, a quote I wish I'd understood sooner. People don't die from a single shock. They die from thousands of small cuts every day to that no one notices. And you, my dears, what are you cutting away from yourselves every day without realizing it? Could those seemingly harmless habits be slowly stripping away your precious years? If you see yourself in what I've just said, if your heart resonates with what's been shared, comment one thing below: I'm waking up. So I know you are still alive, still willing to change, still yearning for a full and meaningful life after 60. And I will write the next part dedicated just for you, where I will share my last wish, the final life lessons from an old man to help you live truly deeply, truly fully. My dear friends, I've almost completed my journey on this earth. At 90 years old, I've witnessed countless changes, so many losses. I buried my beloved life partner. I endured the soul-crushing pain of seeing 3 of my children pass before me. And for over 30 long years, I lived alone in my small wooden house amidst the quiet mountains. In those 30 years of solitude, where time seemed to stand still, I had many opportunities to reflect. And you know, I don't regret not doing grand things, not earning more money, or not being more famous. I only regret the small, simple things I missed. I regret that I didn't live slowly enough to fully witness a flower bloom after the rain. I regret that I didn't stop long enough to listen to my grandchild's babbling stories. I regret that I didn't hug my children long enough when they cried, and I regret that I didn't sit down and write out the things I'd learned, the precious life lessons from the elderly, to leave behind for future generations. So if I were granted a chance to live again from 50 to the age I believe you are at now, the age still strong enough to change, to rewrite the final chapter of your life, I wouldn't ask for a perfect life. I would only need to know clearly, what am I living for? What core values am I living by? And here are the promises I would make to myself if I had the chance to do it again from 50. The advice from old people I want to pass on to you. The promise of sleep to, I would go to bed early to, and never view staying up late as a victory. You know, when I was young, I used to think staying up late was adult, hardworking, a victory over time. But now, at 90, I understand sufficient and deep sleep is the best healing therapy you can get, without any prescription. It helps your senior health recover, keeps your mental health clear, and is a solid foundation for longevity after 60. Don't trade golden sleep for fleeting things, my dear. The promise of movement, too, I would exercise not for my figure, too, but because I want to play with my grandchildren when I'm 80. I used to think exercise was just about having a good figure, about being strong to show off to friends. But now, my biggest motivation is to see my grandchildren and great-grandchildren grow up. I would never let my knees weaken, let my legs tremble just because I missed 20 minutes of walking every morning. Movement isn't an obligation. It's a life lesson about love, about the desire to connect with the next generation. That's how to actively predict life expectancy after 60. The promise of relationships, too. I would cut off contact with people who make me feel not enough. There are relationships, my dear, that are like an invisible burden, making us feel not good enough, not smart enough, not rich enough. When I was younger, I tried to please them, but now I understand that only depleted my mental health. I would never try to please those people again. I would maintain my self-respect and cut off contact gently. This is a wise advice to protect your senior wellness, to live a life after 70 in true peace, unburdened by what doesn't serve you. The promise of words, too, I would say, I'm sorry sooner too, and thank you more often. Laurie, London, 58, brought tears to my eyes. The saying, be careful how you talk to yourself, because you are listening, made me cry. It came at the right time. Words have immeasurable power, not just the words we say to others, but also the words we say to ourselves. I would understand that time doesn't heal everything, too. Only words of love can do that. Don't let pride or fear stop you from speaking your heart. Live with the words of wisdom you want to hear, and speak the inspirational quotes you want to spread. Every word of love is a precious medicine for our elderly health. The promise of self, too. I would write letters to myself. One letter each year, my dear, to remember how much I've grown, what challenges I've overcome, and never to lose the pure, innocent child still living within me. That's a life lesson about connecting with yourself, a way to preserve your own life stories so that in old age you have a journal full of wisdom and memories. The promise of forgiveness, too. I would forgive my parents, too, and forgive myself. Peter, a friend over 80, said, "Don't let fear stop you from pursuing your dreams till it's never too late." And I think forgiveness is the same. I would understand that my parents did their best with what they knew, with the limitations of their time and circumstances. And I, too, also did my best. Forgiving others and forgiving myself is a way to free your soul from burdens, to live more lightly, more peacefully, to embrace life after 70 with serenity. That's the final wise advice I want to give you. If you are reading this, reaching these final lines, I have only one thing to say, a plea from the bottom of an old man's heart. Don't wait until you're 90 like me to learn how to truly live. Don't wait until it's too late, until it truly becomes it's too late. Start today to right now, this very moment. Please, write down 3 things you truly want to do before you turn 60. It could be a trip, a new hobby, or simply speaking a heartfelt word. Call an old friend you cared for but never truly opened up to. Let them know how much they mean to you. Bravely cut off contact with a relationship, a job, or a habit that's draining your energy. Buy a good pair of shoes and walk every morning, even if it's just for 15 to 20 minutes. Actively take care of your senior health. Forgive a mistake you've carried for too long, whether it's someone else's fault or your own. Free your heart. I don't have much time left, my dear, but you do. You still have the opportunity to love, to connect more deeply, a healthy body to care for, to cherish, a strong heart to heal old wounds, and wonderful years waiting ahead, a meaningful life after 60. Happiness is not about your current age, but about living each day as if it were the last gift too and the first. This is a quote I want you to always remember. Please leave a comment below, a small but powerful commitment. I am alive, and I will start over today. If you feel this video came at the right time, for the right person, at the right moment, please share it with someone you care about. Send it to your parents who might need to hear these words, or save it to sow one day when you need to remind yourself to live again, to find wisdom and motivation. You can watch it again. You've just helped someone avoid a mistake. You might have saved a life by sharing this video. This is advice from elders, life lessons from an old man, senior health tips, and wise advice that elderly wisdom wants to spread. That's how we actively shape our life after 60 and predict life expectancy after 60 positively. Thank you for listening. I am a 90-year-old man, too not famous, no social media. But I hope my words, the life lessons and quotes I've accumulated, will live on in you longer than I live on this earth.